Anyway, thank you for having me. What I'm about to talk about today is a calculus tale. All right. The way things used to be at Binghampton University, students not doing well, grades not good in calculus, engineering department complaining. Next part of the tale, try to fix things, 2014 and on. And then once we get things working again, we change things again. And then we talk about OER. So then we change things around with OER, students needing courses with free material. And it did come up a lot in my office, where students needing the free material, and that's something I thought was important. And we were lucky enough to get a grant for it and develop that in many of our sections, which I'll talk about last. And plenty of data and statistics to show you what's going on with those courses. But hopefully I won't bore you too much with that. All right, let's see what we got here. So let's talk about, got to talk about the university a little bit, the background, about what we're about. About 17,166 students. That's about close to 18,000 now. That was a few years ago. We're eventually looking for 20,000 in a couple of years. First year retention, 91.7%, and then 85.1% for freshman transfers. Graduation rate, 4-year, 5-year, 72, 81%, and so forth. First generation, 27%. Pell Grant, 26%. And SAT Math and Verbal, 665 and 641. Yes, so the SAT math scores are very high. So there's no reason why these students cannot do well in calculus. That's one thing you notice right away. Please ask questions as I go. I'm not going to just save questions at the end. I'd like you to ask questions as we go. And I can adapt easily. All right, so here's the path. So high enrollment on Calc 1. We have about 1,350 students for Calc 1 each year. It's their gateway course, major gateway course. For STEM education, of course. They all have to take calculus. 800 students in Calc 2 each year, and usually they take it after our Calc 1, but we do have a lot of students that place out of Calc 1. They'll take it the first semester. And then required for all the majors, as I mentioned before, and then students struggled. Okay, let's see if I can practice my laser. Oh, this is great. Okay. So, yeah, 21.8% DFW. DFW rate, D, rate of a D, F, or withdrawal. Okay, that's considered bad in academic world, so that's what we're going to use as well. All right. So 21.8% is pretty high in Calc 1, but it's even worse for Calc 2. Our students were really suffering Calc 2, 34.4%. Even as high as 46.9%, almost half the students failing. We're talking about 800 students, right, in 2009, and 44.8% in 2013. So that is not good. Not good at all. So, consequences, right? So we have people dropping out of STEM, engineering department complaining because their students are failing out or dropping. And then also, here's a big thing, students were taking courses elsewhere, right? So all the calculus courses they used to take at Binghampton University, now they get them somewhere else and transfer them because it was easier, right? So they can actually get a grade, they can pass. And then students encouraged to take, I mentioned that last, all right, good. So we're moving on. And so provost decided to make a change, and they hired a committee to decide on this. Hiring committee of everyone in departments that matter. I don't know if you know David Broussard or Karen Ray. They're famous for mathematics education, especially calculus education. I've worked with them also in the past, but and they hired director of calculus. That was me in June 2014. All right, so that's calculus pass. So now I start June 2014, and we start some new ideas. And here's a new initiative, and this is what we thought about. Of course, new pedagogy was important. Instead of having an hour-and-a-half lecture where the professor just talks the whole time, it'll be more of a flipped classroom style, all right? More of a discussion. I'm going to talk more about that later. Training program for instructors. There was no training program for instructors. We have a lot of graduate student instructors, as usual in most math departments. That happens in PhD programs. Because you either have a big class size, right, with a professor that's taught it many years, or you have PhD students teaching small class sizes, and we have PhD students teaching the small class sizes. Our classes are 32 students, capped at 32 students each, but of course there's a lot of sections. Evaluate the curriculum, develop new course structures, establish campus-wide collaboration. Campus-wide collaboration. I went to all the departments and made sure we had all the topics they needed for their different departments, and made sure I got rid of the extra stuff that we didn't need, for example. So, phase 1, pedagogy, created videos, math videos. Yes, good times. Math videos are fun. So we try to create some math videos, fun math videos. But we created math videos, but there are also math videos available online. But we created our own in-house ones so students can have it for free if needed. So they watch the video before they come to class. They get an idea of the topic. And we still lecture them a little bit on the topic, as much as they need, but they were required to watch that video, and we give them a homework assignment to make sure they watch that video. And they are prepared when they come to class. That means that hour and a half is not just spent on lecture, but them doing problems in class, working in groups, IBL, inquiry-based learning, right? Where they work in groups, and we give them problems to work on, and we go around and help them while they're working on the problems, and they help each other, and they talk. Our classrooms are not quiet. People are talking to each other, talking to me. I am not just talking to them, right? It's more of a discussion. And I remember thinking about this a while ago, because I was a lecturer myself way back when, and I was trying to think to myself, I know that my best classes are the ones where I talk less. I realized that over the years, right? And I realized that if you have more of a discussion with the students, even mathematics, you say, well, how do you do that in mathematics? It can be done, all right? And plus, when the students are more comfortable, they ask more questions, that brings up discussions, right? And they are definitely more comfortable when you do more of a flip style classroom. So you introduce the topic, talk about it, a theorem, maybe 15 minutes, do some problems in class, then go to the next topic and move it on like that and keep adjusting and so forth for an hour and a half. And the students realize, well, that hour and a half goes pretty quick. It goes pretty quick. And they might be uncomfortable with the idea of a flipped classroom at first because they're freshmen and in high school, they're not used to it. But once they get used to it and things work out, they actually ask for it the second year. That's why I developed it for Calc 2 as well. I was only going to do it for Calc 1, but then we did it for Calc 2 because students were actually asking for these classes. And I was going to do that, try it out anyway, but it seemed like the students were looking forward to it. So it worked out well. And I'm going to give you all this data supporting the stuff we're doing right now, but I have to go through all the changes we made. And we made a lot of changes, all right? So that's just the pedagogy. Graduate student instructor training, did a lot of training for instructors. I won't get into details about that. But not just teaching mathematics, but teaching it with a flipped style where they can go around the room, all right, and talk to the students, and not just lecture, all right? So it's a twofold thing on that. Okay. Phase 2 curriculum, yes. I want to get to course structure. Course structure, that was the big one. I split all the calculus courses in half, 2 credits each. We used to be a 4-credit Calc 1 course, 4-credit Calc 2 course. Now I split it in half. So you take the 2 credits first half semester, 2 credits second half semester. And you say, well, why would you make all that complicated trouble? Well, there's a reason behind it, and we'll talk about that in a second. But first, here's another big thing that was important that we did. Going around the different departments, I found out, which surprised me, and I asked them, well, what was the topic you think the students need most work on for their freshman year? I don't know if anyone can guess that. Anyone math science here? Anybody? Probably not. Don't worry, I won't bore you too much about the math. But anyway, the answer is pre-calculus, not calculus. And these are students that are taking calculus, most of them, right? Pre-calculus topics, algebra, trigonometry, right? Graphing, basic stuff that they're supposed to learn in high school. They're not learning that, all right? And I noticed that in the classroom. I knew that could be an answer, but I didn't expect the professors to say that was the biggest thing. I thought they maybe say derivative, integral, find the area under the curve, because this is all calculus topics, right? But no, they said pre-calc, and I said, all right, that makes sense. Now, we have a pre-calc course for a full semester, right? It's 108, but it's a full semester. And, for example, engineering department does not want their students wasting a whole semester taking pre-calculus. Other departments didn't want that either. And plus, the pre-calculus topics covered are probably more than it's needed because they probably have enough background on certain pre-calc topics. So it made sense to have a 2-credit pre-calc course where we focus on the pre-calculus you need for calculus, all right? The tougher topics, those are needed, that are always missing in those students. So we called it Intro to Calculus. I didn't want to call it pre-calculus because students don't want to take pre-calculus. So we call it Intro to Calculus, and there is some calculus at the end of it, but we introduced the calculus a little later, that's all. So what I did was out of all the students taking up, and we have a placement exam, placing them into calculus, all students must take the placement exam in order to get into Calc 1 or the pre-calc course. But now I took those bottom 20%, and then after looking at all the data, placement exams in the past, these are the students that were suffering, right? Not getting good grades. It was guaranteed. So I took those students, right? And I said, now you're going to take the Intro to Calculus course, which is a now 2-credit course before you take the regular Calc 1. So now the Calc 1 is stretched over time. Instead of a semester of Calc 1, it's now a semester and a half. Because the first half semester is a pre-calculus course. So you really could call this Intro to Calculus pre-calculus course. And I'll call it that later so I can remind you what it is. But, and these are topics covered, but don't know if anyone cares about these topics, but those are the topics we focus on. And so those students get that introduction. And that was the big one, I think, really changed the grades with our students, because students were definitely doing better on the test right away. That was the big jump for this one. And 20% of the students, we're talking about 250 students. 250 students taking it every semester. So that's a lot. Okay, so course transformations. So here's a 2-credit system, right? I split all the calculus courses in half, including my intro to calculus that was added. So the original, I'll give them both right here. So originally had Calc 1 4 credits, Calc 2 4 credits, right? Straight up. Now we have intro to calc. This could be a student's pathway, depending on how they do a placement exam. If they score 23, they get intro to calculus. If they score 26, they go in Calc 1A. So this could be done, Calc 1 and Calc 2 and intro to calc can be done in 2 semesters and a half. All right? If they do the normal calc route, it's still done in 2 semesters. Intro to calc, we'll call this pre-calc. Calc 1A, I didn't give the actual titles or the numbers because we're not going to remember them, right? So, but Calc 1A is actually differential calculus. Calc 1B is integral calculus. Calc 2A is integral techniques and applications. And Calc 2B is infinite series, for those who heard these topics before. And those are the typical topics covered in Calc 1 and Calc 2. And with that new pathway, you can have rapid recovery for students in tightly scheduled sequence, especially engineering. This was huge for the engineering schedule, worked out real well for them. Even if a student starts with 223 or let's say fails a 2-credit course somewhere down the line, they can still catch up and be fine on their schedule next year, which I checked with all departments, which worked out real well. The GPA, we forget about that, right? 2-credit F, not so bad as a 4-credit F. The GPA's jumped up by almost a point. I'll show you that data later for these students in the STEM education. So that was huge, and they can recover quickly, right? They don't have to wait a whole semester, fail, and then take it next semester. Now they can do it right mid-semester. And those students that end up taking it mid-semester, after they didn't do well, 65% of them got at least a C+ or better the second time around. And B or better was about 60%, which is pretty good. Pretty good, I would say. I'm missing down below here, sorry about that. The challenges, course scheduling, you got that mid-semester switch. It's got to be quick, right? So I have to make sure all the instructors are on top of things. Let's get those grades in, because if we don't, grades don't roll, and we don't get the students in the next class. So that's a challenge, but it works out. It works out for small schools and big schools. At Stevens Institute of Technology, we first developed this idea. I don't think anyone else ever did before. And it worked out just fine. And the bigger school, Binghampton University, works out fine. Rapid mid-semester transition exams, rating, course placement exam, and so forth. All right, how are we doing here? Any questions so far? Don't worry, I bet you're going to get to the OER. I still have to give you this background, all the changes we made, but we'll get through it. Student typical assessment. This is also important because it involves the OER as well, because we cannot just make our courses regular calc courses for OER. We had to change it the way we liked it, the Binghampton University style of teaching calculus. And this is what we do. So we have midterm finals, typical midterm finals, paper exams. Now midterm finals are now done in a half semester, right? So really you have 2 midterms. Realize what's going on there. And that's another thing about students doing better. You have less topics for Calc 2. That's always a hard thing to do, get through Calc 2 in the final. But moving on from past that, basic skills tests taken on computer. That's a big one. Now, for Calc 1, we have it 15% and 15%, 2 of them. But for Calc 2, we have 16%. But that's an important one because that's stuff we can train. We can actually test them on the computer. We don't have to test them necessarily using paper exam for topics, such topics as chain rule, stuff like that, which saves our paper exams to be more conceptual, more involved problems, harder problems, and it's great. And it's proctored, and it's in the testing center. So it's IP address is connected to the IP addresses of the computer, so they cannot take that test unless they're in a computer center with the proctor. Now, the old calc we do now, the general calculus that we have, that we use WebAssign. You guys, anyone familiar with WebAssign? No, okay. WebAssign, the Stewart calculus book. We use that. So that was going to be a difficulty. That's going to be one of the difficult spots when we had the OER to make sure we could still do this, because we want to make sure the course was the same, even though we offered OER. Online homework system, again, that's going to be also WebAssign through the textbooks, Engage. All right, in-class written homework, yes, weekly quizzes, typical weekly quizzes. All right, moving on. So those for all the calculus courses. Now, to understand the half-semester system, and that's important too for if we're going to do OER. All right, it's Calc 1A, right? Calc 1B for fall, typical student. Then it's a Calc 2A, Calc 2B. But let's say a student doesn't do well. Right? Whoops, wrong button. There we go, got a D. They have to repeat, all right, not good, all right? Don't worry, do not fear. We can repeat it, Calc 1A, next half semester, okay? And this is true no matter where they start down the line. Now it's in the system for a full year, where no matter what course they start with for the 2-credit course, they have that course repeated mid-semester, and they can retake it. So yes, there's some scheduling there, but it's not as bad as it sounds. I know it sounds like almost like a nightmare, but it's not that bad. And you don't use extra faculty to do it either. You make sure there's space available for the next course up, because the students that end up dropping or withdrawing or not doing well are replaced by students that need to repeat it. And that's how the system runs each half semester. All right, so don't worry. Bill, that'll be me, I got a D. Don't worry, I can recover because I can actually go back to schedule because now I can take the winter session course. Now the winter session course used to be live on campus. We only get like 6 students because no one can stay on campus, right? But now it's online. Developed that, and that's another thing we did with, that's new. We started last year. We started the online course for the winter session, and now we have 45 students taking this course, right? And catching up and taking that mid-semester. And it's a 2-credit course. So it works great for the winter course. It's 2 credits, right? It's not a 4-credit course. And so in 3 weeks, they can get this done. And it's done correctly. And the grades, I've taught it 2 different winters right now. And so far, the grades are very comparable to what they have the regular semester. And I follow these students because they take my course the spring semester to see how they do. And they're doing good. So I'm happy to say that online's working, all right? At least anecdotally, all right? But it's also working with statistics-wise. Statistics show the grades, they're doing better with the courses after they take the online course as well. So that's important to have that online course winter session. That's my safety valve for students that might want to catch up. Even though they don't have to take that course, it's not necessary. They can still continue with a regular route and they'll still be caught up on their schedule. Anyway, any questions on mid-semester, on the half-semester system? I know that can be confusing at first, but I'm sure other departments have tried that as well. Anyway, let's see how the results. So the results. So we have comparing Calc 1 results, all students. So these are all students, Calc 1. So Calc 1A, right? Calc 1B, that's the new system. Intro to Calc, that's the pre-Calc 2-credit course. And this is old Calc 1. So old Calc 1 used to be all these students, right? And that was before 2014 and before. So that's in red. All right, so red's the old Calc. And you can see the DFW rates are much higher. Well, we talked about the DFW rate, but now we can compare it to what the new system is. And you can see the DFW rates, all right, we got close, maybe as high as 12% for Calc 1A maybe, but that's not so bad. All right. Anything, if you can get anything for the, I don't know if you know this in general for calculus, nationally it's close to 20-something%, 30% for DFW rates nationally, right? So to get anything close to 10% is a huge feat. And the same thing with my other university, Stevens Institute of Technology. Getting that close to that 10% was exactly what we're looking for. Or anything below that would be great. Even 15% would be great, right? But right now we're doing pretty well with the Calc 1, all right? And that's what it used to be, and then you can see even the higher grades, and that's another thing we forget. The higher grades get better too along with this, right? Students understand the material better and they're going to get those A and B grades. And here it is, right here, okay? And you're going to see the same picture, a lot of things we talk about, all right? So I also look at the female students, how they're doing because of new pedagogy. This is also important, and you can see they are doing well as well. So here's the DFW rate, lower than 10%. Lower than 10% DFW rate, and then here we have the higher grades. So the A grades are so good for all 3, Calc 1A, B, and Intro. It hit the 40% mark, but I think it's close to like 42%. We can go beyond the 40% for that one. All right, so comparing Calc 2 results. Oh, I'm going pretty quick, all right. For all students, now this is where they take Calc 1 already, all right, and how they're going to do after that. And that was the one the biggest trouble we had with was Calc 2. Here's the DFW rate for Calc 2 for the old Calc. And now we got this, much better, right? So our students are doing okay. They're doing all right now. And then you look at the A grades. The A grades much better, over 30%. It used to be as low as, what, 13% for the old Calc. Yes? Yes?
Sorry, I was just wondering if you happen to know whether, since you're seeing higher grades among the women in the calculus classes, if you're seeing more in your other STEM classes. Do you know that?
Oh, any other STEM classes? Oh, yes. She was asking that we're seeing women in the calculus classes doing better in the calculus. Are we seeing more women in the STEM classes afterwards? I don't have data on that. I haven't checked the others. There's so many STEM classes, I haven't been able to focus on one of them. The Calculus 3 I do know about, which is taken after that. and there has been a rise in the percentage of women taking Calc 3. And we haven't done any changes with Calc 3, and that's compared to the old Calc with the new Calc. And that I do know. I did look at that, and that has been true, actually. So that's a very good point. I should check all STEM courses. That would be nice to check. That's a good point. I'll have to check that. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, I like this one. This is great. So it's good to see. All students doing well in Calc 2. Now, take a look at this. From what I can remember, maybe I'm wrong. I have so many slides. It's endless. Here we go. So we got, don't worry, I'm not going to bore you through all of them. We'll get through them. Female students. Here we go, the female students. Look at that. Look at the ace. Close to 40% again. Look at that. It's huge. Old Calc used to be 12%. Okay. And you're probably saying, well, is that grade inflation? Well, I'm going to show you Calc 3 results later to show you that's usually, after they take this course, most of the students take Calc 3, especially the engineering students, and I can show the results after that, see how they did. And that Calc 3 was not changed from the past to now, so you can see the comparison of the students doing better, at least in Calc 3. Now, I've also talked to engineering departments, and from what I talked to professors, that the students seem to better understand the mathematics, at least from what they told me anecdotally. But there's so many different fields they can get into. I'm going to eventually look into more data into engineering and science departments to see how they're doing. But from what I hear from the other professors, they're very happy with the students understanding material better. They're not afraid to do math. See, they used to be more afraid to do the mathematics and calculus in these STEM courses. And that's a huge fear in the United States in general with mathematics, right? That's why people don't do well in math. It's the fear of math. So to get them comfortable and say, oh, I can do well in this course is huge. The confidence. It's confidence. We don't talk about confidence here, right? Nothing to do with confidence, but it all has to do with confidence, right? That's a huge part of it. Very huge part. All right. So anyway, those results are nice. We'll keep going down. What we got here? Okay. So students who started with Calc 1 as freshmen, let's see the progression, because that was the main cohort we cared about. They start as freshmen, Calc 1. What happens to them later down the line? Because these are our freshman students, all right? So for the old Calc 1 DFW rates, underrepresented students, 21.2%. That's the old Calc. 13.2% DFW rates. Remember, high DFW rates, not good. We don't like high DFW. But females still only 13.2. Engineering's 15%. Then we go to Calc 1 A and B, and we have underrepresented 14.6, 7.4, 8.7. Better. Looks good. All right. So our Calc 1 students, right, are looking pretty good. But look, check out the Calc 2. So progression from taking our Calculus 1 first. So now we're preparing our students to take Calc 2 correctly. Because look how they're doing, right? Before the old Calc 2 way, it was 42.2% underrepresented with DFW rate. That's not 37.8%, 41.7%. This is all a number of years before 2014. The new Calc 2, 21%, 10.3, 12.7 for Calc 2. Much better. We now can see that we are preparing our students to take our Calculus 2. Right? The students that take our Calc 1 are prepared. And here's another thing that happened while this was going on, and I get from all the advisors who involve getting students transfer credit or have them take courses somewhere else. They say they're not getting students taking calculus somewhere else now. Now they want to take calculus at Binghampton University, which is great to hear. And I have a few people that always try to keep me updated on that, and they rarely have people looking to take calculus somewhere else, which is good, because they know they're going to be more prepared to do better at Binghampton University if they take our calculus course, which is good to see. All right. Anyway, so that was nice. All right, progression. Here's more progression stuff. So the GPA. I want to talk about the GPA. This is the fun part, right? It's a whole point difference, right? Mean Calc 1 GPA, old Calc, 2.78, 3.2 on the new. All right. Let's go to Calc 2. Mean Calc 2 GPA, 2.07. That's the mean, 2.07. That's not good. So now it's 3.16. Good, I love that. All right. Anyway, so retention to sophomore. I mean, this is a minor thing. We had a high retention rate anyway, but it did increase a bit, 93.2%. Okay. Anyway, how do they do in Calc 3? So, how do they do with their later course? And the best course to check right after that is Calc 3, because all students take Calc 2. Most of them are taking Calc 3. Not most of them, maybe half of them. Depends on the situation. But see, we only can do it for 2 years because that's when we know they went through our program, the new Calc already. So these are definitely students that are taking our Calc 1 or Calc 2 to see how they did. All right, so the old Calc again is in red. So it was a close to 25% DFW rate. Now it's lowered to maybe 16%. All right, and then we do have higher grades for an A for the new calc. All right, so there's some difference, which is good to see. All right, and then we also have in spring 2019, just to show you another semester of all the students. And again, the numbers look pretty good, especially the DFW rates for here, for the Calc 3 students. I did have, maybe I still have it. Do I have this female? No. Well, I do have female also. I didn't want to have too many slides, but they look really good as well for the data. I just didn't have time to show all that data. Okay. Well, finally we're at OER. Yes?
Just before we jump into OER, I just wanted to ask, you mentioned early on about a grant to change the program. Can you talk about that?
Yes. Performance Improvement Fund Grant.
So that's it?
Yep, that's it. That was the one. You're right on target. Yeah, so to get us started, we had that. The money helped, yes. So we got this grant. Actually, we got that grant in, I put the semesters we started the actual OER courses, but we started the grant in spring 2018, and we worked, and we did a lot of things in the summer, and then we finally got the courses implemented in fall 2018 to get this started. So that was a grant, and the people involved in the grant, myself, Don Lowen, Vice Provost of Undergraduate Studies, and Matt Wallach, he had come on board with us. He's a visiting professor who helped us develop the courses to get them ready for the OER for calculus, for the calculus courses. And then what we did was we offered OER sections for Intro to Calculus, which is our pre-calc 2-credit thing, right? You see why I had to give you all of that previous stuff, otherwise you wouldn't know what I was talking about with this. So the Intro to Calculus, Calculus 1A, which is differential calculus, and Calculus 1B, which is the integral calculus. So this used to be the old Calc 1, right? And then this is the new Calc 1 with the Intro to Calculus. So we offered that, and the reason why we offered it for this course, it's usually about half the students, it's a terminal course where that's their last calculus course they'll take, depending on their major. So it made sense to offer them the OER where it's no cost, right? So we made sure it was no cost to that at all to them for any material that we developed, but we wanted to make sure it was the same, exactly the same experience as what's working now for us, right? Calculus courses are working now for us. We don't want to break something that's not broken, right? So we want to make sure it's still running smoothly. And it did help that Matt Walk is a good teacher, so that does help, of course. And of course, we did also eventually get 2 of our graduate students involved in terms of PhDs that normally teach the course, and taught them how to do it as well to make sure they taught their own sections. So it wasn't just Matt teaching it, we had other graduate instructors teach it. So we wanted to make sure it would work for the average teacher, not just Matt Wall, right, for this data. Okay. OER begins. Let's see where we go with this. All right. So implementation, we used OpenStax, calculus, and pre-calculus. I'm sure you guys have OpenStax for all the other topics. The typical one that's used for most people that use OER. It seemed like the right place to go. Makes sense. Had all the material that we needed. Even if it was, now for those who don't know calculus, there's what's wrong with me? The transcendental, I'm sorry. You have the transcendental functions where it's early transcendentals or late transcendentals, all right? So early transcendentals, you introduce some weird functions earlier. Late transcendentals, you don't. We teach the late transcendentals. There's pros and cons to both. And don't worry if you don't know what that is, it's not important. Point is, it does handle both situations no matter how you teach the calculus. So it handles all cases. So the textbook is good. It worked out well for us. That wasn't an issue. The online homework was the thing we were worried about, especially also with the testing center when we had to deal with the skills test, the basic skills test. We used WebWork at first, and probably a lot of you don't know what WebWork is. It's a free system offered by Math Association of America, where you can make your own problems. And it's open educational resource software, right? It's a lot of work, though, to set up the problems, but it's something we use, and we used that at first. But then we realized Lumen was paid for already by SUNY. So why don't we take advantage of that? So we tried that the next time using Lumen. OHM is the online homework system for mathematics that they use. All right, it's pretty good. It's good. It's easy to use. So it'll be much easier when we have to transfer this over to other instructors. Right? It's easier to use. So both work, but it's less work using Lumen-Ohm, especially since we're already paying for it. The SUNY's paying for Lumen to help us with the Ohm system. So that's free. All right? And take advantage of it because they set up the system nicely. I don't know whatever department you may be in, or you can talk about the other departments. But you can have an online homework system, and it works pretty well. And even with our testing center, even though we couldn't do IP addresses, and that was something that was the only thing that bought, and I mentioned that later, that we ran into difficulty. But we still had a password protective, so we had another system. We just used another system. But, all right, so we had that. Fall 2018, 3 sections, 96 students. Spring 2019, 4 sections, 128 students. And then fall 2019, 4 sections, 130 students. So all this right here, you're going to see the data for next, how they did compared to our non-OER sections. And also all sections. So all the data I showed you before, now you got used to that data. We're going to see that again, but now with OER. Okay, see how they did? And let's do that. Any questions so far? All right. So here we go. Yes? Yes?
Did you just use the OpenStax textbook as is, or did you remix, did you do anything to modify it at all?
No, we didn't modify it much at all. The only thing we did was organize it so we had a schedule correctly so students could click on what section they need to take and read it. No, we didn't have to adjust it, which surprised me. I thought we would have to adjust everything. What's nice about calculus and pre-calculus, it's the topics that are covered using the same order. Now, I know that's not true in other departments, but we are lucky in that, right? You can't change the math too much. So, yeah, we didn't have to change too much. It worked out well. The only thing we had to do was redo all the homework. So we had to, but they had questions prepared already in the old system. They give you a list of questions for a certain topic. You pick which ones you want. You put it in there, just like a regular online homework system. So that was nice. But there's no bells and whistles. Like with the WebAssign, you have nice videos showing how to do a problem maybe, or a nice video talking about a topic. Or you might have an interactive thing showing you how to graph something, right? Hints, showing answers to each part. You don't have the frills of that in. But you know what? That's okay. You can go without it. And so we did it. Yep. Good. And then, challenges. I talked about this. Basic skills implementation was a problem, but I think we've fixed that now. Where now it's just password. We have a password of the day with a proctor say, all right, this is the password. The only problem is they could have access to a computer outside that testing center, which we do not like. But it's all right. They couldn't, without the password, they can't open it up anyway for that skills test. But the online homework worked out well. Training new instructors, that was the thing that might take some time. But once I have a system involved, so I already have 2 graduates, 2 PhD students know how to teach it. So they're going to teach others how to teach it, and then we'll just let it go from there. So every year we'll have them teach the OER section to the new instructors coming in. And here's the thing I'm finding out, by the way, for the instructors. The PhD students are looking for jobs, right? And I always do the recommendations for them. And they're finding that more universities are looking for people with more experience teaching these OER and online courses. That's coming up a lot. And they say they want more experience. And so you're going to find out that these instructors are going to look for this experience, which is good. So I'm more than happy to give it to them, right? And see how they do. And they can actually mention that when they're looking for other jobs, which is more recent. I've noticed that over the past year. I've actually had instructors come to me and say, you know what, can I teach some of these OER sections? They actually came to me, which surprised me because I thought it'd be the other way around. I'd have to beg them to teach these OER sections because the extra work involved, right? There was some extra work involved. But once you get used to it, it's not so bad. It should be, and that's the idea. You want to make it seamless. You want to make sure it's the same as the calc we had before because that's what's working, and not too much pressure on the instructor if possible. We have it all set up for them. We have the homework set up for them. They don't have to do that. It's just a matter of them teaching like they normally do, is what we want to break it down to for the instructors. Anyway, so, all right, that was the challenges. Let's see the data. All right, OER versus non-OER, all students. So we got all students pre-calc. Pre-calc is the intro to calc. Let's call it pre-calc now. So we'll call it pre-calc, the 2-credit pre-calc. And now the red is good, all right? Red is OER, all right? I picked the red because I don't know why. Anyway, so red is OER, all right? We have non-OER, and then we have all sections. So all sections is a combination of the non-OER and OER, all right? So the green is strictly non-OER, but you can also look at the blue, all right? And this is what we want. Looks like the grades are about the same, which I'm very happy with. I'm not looking for OER to do better. I'm just happy to, for my system, if they can do what we're doing before, that's fantastic, or anything close to it. And it looks pretty good. And that, so all those students I mentioned before that are taking the courses, that's them right there, all right, for those 3 semesters. Because that's we just started recently, so it's 3 semesters. And there we have it, for those 3, that's pretty good. So that's pre-calc, intro to calc. Let's look at the other courses. All right, we got Calc 1A, OER versus non-OER, looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit higher there, but that's not too bad at all. So it looks like the bars are all about the same. We like that. We like the bars to look the same. All right, and we'll keep going down a little bit. Calc 1B looks pretty good. Oh, we got more B students in OER. That's about it. Everything else, oh no, actually, yeah. All right, a little more A students in the non-OER. Oh, no, that's all sections and non-OER. Anyway, the bar graph's okay? Yeah, makes sense. All right, anyway, so let's go down the line a little further. What else do I have up here? So now let's look at the progression from Calc 1A. So if they start with Calc 1A, how do they do? Underrepresented, 8.1%. Now this is DFW rates, so we want low DFW rates. So underrepresented for the non-OER, 8.1, 3.3, 3.7. And then for the OER, 5.3, 7.4. Now the engineering's low, it's less than 10 people here because we offered OER, we told students for those taking Calc 1, and that's all they need. So engineering students wouldn't do that. They would take Calc 1 and Calc 2 and Calc 3, most of them. So that's why we're not going to get a lot of engineering students in this population, because of that reason. So you're going to see a little less. The data might be a little bit off on the engineering, but everything else should be okay with this. I saw a hand go up? No? Okay. Anyway, got that. Let's see what else. Start with Calc 1A, freshmen. Now they go to Calc 1B. Let's see how they do after the next part, Calc 1B. And numbers look very similar, right, down the line here. Again, less than 10 for the engineering. We have underrepresented for Calc 1B, OER 0% DFW rate. That's the perfect DFW rate. That's what we always shoot for, but you're never going to get. 0% is impossible. Usually. All right, but that's good. All right. We got to go down a little further. Start with pre-calc. Okay, so let's say, here's something I didn't mention before with the previous slides either. How are our students doing with the pre-calc portion later on with the regular courses? Because that's a new thing that was introduced. So given that pre-calc background, are they going to do better? Well, this was nice to see because I didn't compare this before, and I should have. But now I compare it with the OER. So non-OER DFW rates, underrepresented 3.3, and this is pretty good, right? Because they took the pre-calc, right? And then 0% all the way down the line for the OER, which is good. I thought it was nice to see them. Oh no, so that's just for OER. I want to look at see what happens when they do Calc 1. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong side. So that's the pre-calc, right? That's just them doing well in pre-calc. That actually is pretty good. But let me see how they do in Calc 1 after they take pre-calc. So these are students that take pre-calc. Now how are they doing Calc 1A? That's what I want to look at. So now we have underrepresented 0%, 3.3, engineering not there. And then we have 0% for Calc 1A, OER, DFW rates, which is good to see. So they're doing very well. I don't know how those numbers could be that good, actually. That's really good. All right, that's good. So we keep going. I'm surprised. I never saw double 0% before. All right. I must have missed that. No, it's true. Anyway, so freshman progression. Fall start with Calc 1A. All right, so let's go. Let's see these GPAs. What we got here? So we got Calc 1 GPA, OER 2.97, 3.2, non-OER. All right, so a little bit of a difference there. GPA from 1B, about the same. OER, non-OER. We got temp retention rates. Numbers are close, nothing too big. DFW rates are here as well. You can check those out. They're very similar. So it looks pretty good. We have plenty of time for questions. I went through that data pretty quick. I don't want to bore you guys with all that. All right, so let me go to the next one. Here we go. All right. So fall start with pre-calc. So those students that start with pre-calc, let's see how they're doing. All right, so they have, there's a pre-calc GPA about the same. DFW rates a little higher. That's just the pre-calc. Now the Calc 1A, what happens when they take Calc 1 after they take pre-calc? Our pre-calc, our new pre-calc. Well, look at the GPA here. We have a 3.34 for OER and a 2.99 for non-OER. That's okay. And then that's okay in general, right? And then we have Let's go down to Calc 1B, DFW rates. Oh, here's interesting. So we have 15.8% for non-OER, 9.5% for OER. I mean, that's a lot better than the non-OER, which is good to see. That could have been a lot to do with Matt Wallach. He's a good teacher. I don't know, but we'll see. No, it's good, though. It's good to see that it's working. Retention, second semester, it's about the same. It's about the same here for second retention rate. Any questions on these slides? All right, let's go down the line. And future. So future OER. So we're doing all those sections. And now that Grant's up, we can continue. All right. And it's good to see that the instructors are willing to teach it, so that's not going to be an issue convincing them. I thought that would have been a challenge, but it's not a challenge. So we'll be offering more sections of Calc. But we're going to stick with Calc 1 specifically for as a terminal course for those students that are terminal, because students that take Calc 1, Calc 2, Calc 3, we have it's in place now where students can actually only pay $120 for WebAssign with the textbook if they take Calc 1 and Calc 2 and Calc 3, which is a semester and a half. All right, semester and a half course where it's only $120. Online system with an e-book. So it doesn't make much, I should say for those students, it doesn't make much sense to have OER for all Calc 1 through Calc 3. But Calc 1, it does make sense, especially for those terminating students. So for Calc 1, we're definitely going to offer more sections for that. Any students that want it, that are looking to take just Calc 1. Now, if they want to take Calc 1, it's going to be tough to do Calc 2. I'll have to check into that. We'll see what happens, but that's a couple years down the line. The online courses, yes. Right now, the online courses are not OER. And we do have more than just the Calc course I mentioned before. We're going to have it for the summer. We're going to teach online for the summer for the first time this summer. And then we're going to keep adding to this. So we're going to have more online courses added each year. And eventually, all the calculus courses will be offered online. And of course, the biggest problem with the online courses is it proctored correctly? It's a big complaint you get from professors, and that's a challenge. Make sure we use ProctorU. The problem is students have to pay for that fee for ProctorU because the school won't pay for it. So, I mean, it is a fee, but that's the only fee they'll pay if we do it OER, which is not too bad. But I don't see a way of avoiding that challenge for the proctoring situation, unless you actually get them to come in on campus to take the test, but that's impossible if it's winter or summer, because otherwise you won't get many students taking the course. So it's a challenge. Now, whether we get free proctoring somehow, I don't know. That's something to think about. But anyway, so online for winter and summer is something we're also looking for in the future. And there we go. Thank you for your time. Any questions? Yep, go.
So the OER, non-OER, how are students registering? Is an advisor directing them, or is it fits in their schedule?
I wish it was so sophisticated. No. What we have, well, at first, when we first developed it, I had to email all the students taking calculus ahead of time and say, look, this is the section. If you would like to take it, the OER section, you're free to. I recommend for just students that are just taking Calculus 1 and not taking Calculus 2. And that's what we did. So I pretty much directly emailed them directly. All students I think are taking out. But here's the better thing to do is make sure that the advisors are on board, and that's what we did next time around. The advisors, because we didn't have it in the system yet, the advisors were on board, and we had it done on Banner. So now, with the CLT involved, our CLT department's more involved with the OER now, and now it's actually put into the course. So it will say it's an OER section now when it's offered through registrar, which is much better. Yes. So now the section says OER section, free class material, whatever, taking this course. And I also email them to make sure they know. So and plus, when the first day of class, when students come the first day of class, I make sure the professor tells them this is an OER section where you're not having the same material used in the other section, but it's the same material, just not the same textbook. And make sure they know that going in. And none of them switch out, of course. They're more than happy to take a free section. they look forward to it. And then I always get requests on email to hear about the OER section, and they want to find out how to get in. We'll get them in. Yeah, so word gets out. So now we do have it in the system where it's done through registrar, which is great. So it's a note next to it. And the advisors, hopefully, are on board with that. All the advisors. That's something I'm hoping to get them involved. Yeah, it's tough to advertise that at first when you first develop it. Get an email to all the students. You can always go directly to them. I've been doing that for years. Yes?
For your data where the students are doing better with OER, do you have any information about why? Is it the cost, the limited cost to them, or better quality of materials, or?
I do not know why. I would have to guess certain sections with Matt Walk is taught better than maybe some others, and I would have to chalk it up to that. But again, I'm using other instructors too that are just the average instructors that we normally use, and they're doing well too. The general data looks about the same. So I'd say it makes sense. I'm happy to see it's about the same. Now when it's a lot better, like you saw for those percentages, when it was a lot better, I have to admit that we have a pretty good instructor in there. The visiting professor does a very good job. So I would have to chalk it up to that, if I had to guess. Now, can students, and so I don't know the reason. Now maybe if it's another reason, I'm not sure what it is. That's a good question. Now maybe students are, because, no, I don't want to take guesses.
Well,
I don't want to take guesses. What's that?
If people didn't buy the course materials in the past and just tried to muddle through,
Right.
and now it's free, I mean, that could be.
That could be it too.
But,
No, that could be. I don't know how, but I just don't know how many students had to go through that. But there have been students where they've taken our normal course and they will not buy the webs because they can't afford it. So they try to do without the percentage homework grade that's part of the grade and try to go through the course anyway. And I've had several students do that. And I go, well, look, it's part of the course. We can still give you the numbers in the book to do the homework. At least you can do that to prepare for the exam. But you know what? Yes, some students will not pay for it even though they know it's part of it. They're going to lose part of their grade because of it. Yeah, that's true. I have to check into that, though. I'm curious to see if that matters. Yes?
I'm sorry, I came in a little bit late, so you may have mentioned this. If you could briefly say, before you went into the OER, you were talking about new calculus versus old calculus.
Mm-hmm.
What were the differences there?
Oh, yeah. So the new calculus. Yeah, I got you. The new calculus. So what we did is different pedagogy, more of a flipped classroom, taught for Calc 1 and Calc 2, compared to the old lecture style that was done. Also, we introduced a new course, 2-credit pre-calculus course, which was called Intro to Calculus, which is pretty much a pre-calculus course to get students ready for calculus. 20% of those students now have to take that course that they didn't have to take it before. So that was the new calculus, make sure they're prepared pre-calculus wise. And also the big one, the half semester situation where I split all the Calc 1 and Calc 2 courses in half. So they're split into 2 separate 2-credit courses instead of 4-credit courses. So now students can recover quickly mid-semester. And I didn't mention this earlier, but the reason why I developed that back when we were at Stevens was because we realized we took data. 95% of the time we could predict when students were going to get a DF or W within the first 4 weeks. First 4 weeks, right? We're wasting time in these students. They take a whole semester. They're not showing up for class, after that, and they're not going to recover. So why are we wasting their time? And that's when we first said, well, let's just cut it in half, right? And they can retake it and maybe do okay. 2-credit F is not so bad compared to 4-credit F, and they can recover quicker. And let's say they do it, and most of the students are doing a lot better when they take it the second time. Confidence is better. So that was the new calc. Summed up quick for you. Yeah. The old calc, just normal lecture-based Calculus 1 and Calculus 2 that used to be taught. And the grades were not good back then.
Were they taught in small classes or large lectures?
And they're always taught in small classes. That's one thing we've always had good at Binghampton is keep it small classes. So we have 32 students in each section. Because with a flipped style, it's hard to do with a bigger class. Much harder to do. Now the trade-off is you have to have graduate student instructors. A lot of them, most of them are going to be are PhD students that are teaching. So you have to train them. We give them at least a year of training before they're ready to take a course of their own. But you have to be more hands-on as a director and a coordinator to make sure the instructors are doing, so we make sure we give them what they're supposed to do every day. It's not a typical professor who's, all right, go teach this course. No, we tell them what they have to do every day of class, specifically. Yeah, so you have to do that. You have to be a little more strict with that. I mean, a little more hands-on is what I like to say. But here's the thing, though. The new instructors, we're teaching them a new way of teaching that a lot of the older professors don't want to teach. They don't want to do a flipped classroom, engaging the students in class, having a discussion. They prefer the lecture-based, most of them, right? They're used to it, which I understand. I used to love lecture. I thought I was very good at it, right? Now I'm doing this other, I was like, oh, this is a lot better, because the students are doing better. Why not? And you get to know the students better. Plus, you get to know where the students are having trouble. In this flipped classroom style, you cannot always guess where the problems are with students and if they didn't understand something on the board, because they're going to be quiet, right? And then you go around and see what they're doing, like, oh, you didn't get this. Oh, let's talk about it. Then I go back up the board. It seems like a lot of you are having this trouble. And then we talk, right? And then, so it's nice. It works out well. Yeah. So it's great to train the new instructors that way because they're willing to try new things too. Yes? Mm-hmm.
Can you track how much time it took to flip the classroom? Like you got help with making videos and that sort of thing?
Yes. Yes, that helps. We have to save, because you do need extra time to flip the classroom and make sure you have time to do problems in class. So to save time, we created the videos, and I've used videos in the past, and now we keep adding more videos as needed. But introducing the topic at hand for that day, usually we cover one section a day, which is one major topic. So we try to introduce that topic through a video, because really, it's a lesson that you normally teach, but now it's just on video, and the students can watch it over and over. And that's what the students love about it. They can watch it over and over again.
And who created the video? Like, did you have ITS help, or?
Well, I'm actually pretty good at creating videos, so it helped that I was, yeah. So that helped a little bit I've done videos for publishing companies before, so I made the videos. But I also I hired people to help me make the videos in the summer. So in the summertime, I would hire other professors and maybe a couple TAs, and I would teach them how to do it, and they would record videos. The best way to record the videos is Camtasia. I recommend Camtasia. It's excellent. We all have free service today. I think most SUNY schools do, I'm guessing. We do at Binghampton University. Editing is so easy to use. It looks real professional, done right. You can do it on a computer. If you can do it with Mathematics, you can do it for any topic, I think, because it's not easy to do Mathematics with the Camtasia. But there's a lot of different ways to do it. But Camtasia, I recommend. It works great. And I've taught other people how to do it, and then they create more. So any people that create videos for us, it keeps added to the system. And then I'll even have an independent study for students that want to do videos as well as Mathematics. Our math majors that are double majors in the video, right? Or not video, audiovisual, right? So I'll have them, and then we'll do a project where we make a few videos for certain topics, and then that will be added to the system. So we create our own OER database of videos. In fact, a lot of our videos are free to the public, so you guys are free to check them out if you want. It's on our public website. All of our calculus courses are public knowledge, and the videos are free, and the material that we add up there too. Then, of course, you have the YouTube videos, which are available. But a lot of the videos we create we put on YouTube anyway for anyone to visualize. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You got a grant to do this project, right?
Yep. The OER.
Right, an OER grant. In the absence of grant funding, what do you feel are reasonable incentives to get faculty to move to this model?
I think paying them a little extra at first. Now, when I say get someone on board, like Matt Wallach did a lot of our development for these courses. We hired him for the summer and say, here's the summer, I'll give you some money, can you set this up? So you need someone to set it up. So you're gonna need some, I think, initial money to get that set up. But once it's set up, I think the encouragement is them getting experience of teaching OER because it's gonna look good for them. Other than that, I would have to say get maybe paid a little extra. That's the only incentive I can think of, other than experience. For the graduate instructors, it was easy because they're looking for the experience. But for professors that are going to be at the department for many, many years and not looking for a new job in the future, maybe they don't care that much about the experience. So make sure it's set up correctly where they don't have to do a lot of work. Yeah.
Did you have a strong top-down push from like the provost's office, or was this a grassroots kind of endeavor?
It was just mentioned that it is a push lately with SUNY to check out the OER idea, so it seemed interesting to me. And I did notice students that were not being able to afford the material. So a little bit of both, I'd say. Now, without the grant, I would have tried this anyway to see because I was very curious about it, but luckily we got the grant anyway, so we were able to make things a lot easier for us. But I think so I'd say grassroots as well as the realizing OER is coming up around now with the SUNY system. And because the provost's office did mention a little bit, this is what they're doing now. You can, if you want to give this a shot, it'd look good if we had some OER sections. So that helped too. Yeah, a little bit both, I'd say. Yeah. We would have tried it anyway. Just curious, especially if you're online, it makes sense if you can do that. So, yeah. Yes.
Do you or other departments work with the university libraries in creating OERs?
No. We did it all on our own, but the only thing I say they're now involved with, they post now in the register us, make sure that they know it's an OER section. So I haven't been involved that much with libraries. The only thing I said, they did help us in the past. They said they could host our videos, but the videos are now public anyway, so we didn't need videos are a lot easier to publish now than they used to be. Right? It used to be hard to watch videos not too long ago. That used to be a big problem. Now you have these repositories where it's very easy to view these videos. And these videos aren't long either, like 10 minutes long, so they don't have to be too long. No, I not much, yeah. At least with Binghamton University. Yep.
When you were going over the breakdown of the assignments, the midterm finals, quizzes and whatnot, is that just for the new courses, or is that the same for the old as well?
Good questions. They were similar, but we changed some things around. The skills test was actually in place in the old system, and I used it again, which was good. I thought it was a good system. So I'd say it's very similar. You're right, the evaluation of the grades were pretty much the same, actually. Now I think about it, we didn't change it much. The Calc 1 we didn't. Calc 2 we did a little bit. And now here's the thing. Once we went to the half semester system, we had to change the exams a bit because we only used to offer 3 midterms and a final. Now it was this, so that's where the big difference was. So once we cut the course in half, we had only 2 exams for each part. So they're really like 2 finals, 2 midterm exams. I don't know what you want to call them. We call them all kinds of things, but so the percentage grade was a little bit different on that, but not too much different. Yeah, good point. Now I think about it, not too much. So it's a good comparison then in that situation. Yeah.
I've noticed sometimes with, in math class, where you only have maybe 2 tests and that's it,
Mhm.
you fail, you
Oh, right.
the first one,
Yeah.
you just do
Right, and students do worry about that. They feel like the tests come up quick because because we only have till mid-semester and we call it a final, but really it's not a final. It's a midterm. They used to have, but they don't know that. Students don't know. They think we're trying to torture them or something. But no, it's less material. And here's the thing about Calc 2. We used to have a final for Calc 2. There's so much material in Calc 2. It's endless, and students never do well in the Calc 2 final because it's too much material. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why we always had it. It was just, and they only learned the shallow part. They only learn so much depth on the material because they can only do that for the end of the semester. Now I've noticed they're going in more depth on their solutions to these tests, it seems like, because they have more time to spend on the topics. A lot more than they used to. So now their final is half the course it used to be. And the material is more related. This half semester system is now broken down where the topics are special, they're properly in the right places. Calc 2 used to have really 2 courses. I don't know why we call it Calc 2. It's really 2 different courses. Infinite series has nothing to do with integration techniques, for those who know that. And integral calculus compared to differential calculus, a lot different, right? So it makes sense to split those 2 up. So it kind of goes well. Yeah. Any other questions?